Mics are on.
Mics are on. Hey, I like that. I hadn't seen that commercial in a long time.
Campfire Girls.
Yes, Campfire Girls. A campfire program for campfire girls or something like that.
And
Today's program for today's girls.
That's right. And they sat around the campfire.
Hey, Mike, what's this mean? Why am I wearing rubber gloves?
I don't know. I've got
I'm
them
a
on,
little
too.
I feel like it's science time. Science corner.
It's funny how that is.
Wow, what are we going to do?
I don't know. We don't have a science guy with us today, but
we need
do.
like a coat, like a lab coat. Wouldn't that be sweet?
No.
No? Okay.
No. We've got Sergeant Mauro with us
We
today.
do. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. This is exciting.
Thank you.
He's a sergeant in the local Tip City Police Department, and he writes a fantastic article in the Gazette.
Just complimenting
Yeah.
him on how well written that article is. It makes me feel like a cop every time I read it.
It's great. It's
It
like
is.
you get a little piece of what of your life in the beat.
Yes,
right.
It's like you're sitting in the
Yeah.
room at the beginning of the shift and you're hearing what's
yeah,
going
yeah,
on.
like a shift report.
And then
kinda.
it's-
yeah,
Why it's called roll call. because
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
At the beginning of the shift, when you tell the officers what happened on the previous shifts or the previous week for guys who've been off for a few days,
Mm-hmm.
you fill them in on what they should be watching for and who got arrested or where there was burglaries or thefts, what they should be watching for while they're out there patrolling.
I tell you, it's really good information to have out there in the public because
Right.
people need to know about this kind of stuff so they can keep their eyes open.
right.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, we covered a story that you reported on in the Gazette about kind of a explosion of heroin, I guess, in Tip City, as far as catching people with it, catching and out of towners too, right? Not just
Yes.
not just locals. I
Yes.
mean, kids, folks from out of town carrying around some heroin and stuff, and apparently to sell it, I guess, right?
Well, there's always been heroin around
Okay.
since the 60s when I was a little boy. What differentiates between a heroin explosion and a cocaine explosion or a crack or methamphetamine is the price of it.
Oh,
Right now, heroin is cheaper than crack and
Really?
cocaine
Hmm.
and methamphetamine, and it's more readily available in Dayton. So we have people from Sydney, Springfield, Michigan,
the whole
Indiana-
75
Indiana,
corridor. right?
75 corridor. They come down
Coming
through
down to
Tip
Dayton.
City. And we have a fantastic dog named Gita, which if you've read my articles, you've seen
Yeah.
Gita's name quite a bit, and she is doing a fantastic job. The State Patrol calls for her, Piqua Police, Troy Police, Sheriff's Office, when their dog is not available. But Huber Heights, Fairborn, I've even sent her as far as Xenia and Springfield.
Sometimes I'm wondering if she should just sit at the on-ramp right there.
Well-
Wait for the people to come on from
Yeah.
75.
Sometimes we get a call of we get information from the DEA or the state BCI, and they say be watching for this car, and we will watch for a certain vehicle because
Yeah.
somebody's got information that the vehicle's going to be coming down 75.
That's so crazy.
But generally, when you make a traffic stop, the police officer that's been doing this for a while has a tendency to kind of get a feeling that something's wrong. People start sweating. People start choking on their words. People have different stories for us. There's clues in the back seat. You know.
Little girls that say that, Mommy,
Yeah,
that's not right.
Exactly.
That was my
You read
favorite.
that one,
Oh,
yes.
that was my favorite story. Somebody was asking the lady about something, and she said something, and the little voice from the back seat. But Mommy, that was the best story.
Yeah, and Mommy owned up.
Oh, that's funny.
Eventually owned up. But yeah, then you call in the drug dog, and the Supreme Court has ruled that dog can do a free air sniff. The air around a vehicle is free, so it's the plain view doctrine from the Constitution. If a dog then hits on it, then we have probable cause.
Right,
to go
then you've got
into the
probable
vehicle
cause to go.
and
And they can
search
sense it from 6-10 feet away, something like
Absolutely.
that? Just the whiff of it?
Yes, Gita is very good at it. When I've seen her hit, she'll bury her nose somewhere, and right there is where you're going to find something. Now she's trained to find heroin, cocaine, marijuana. She's trained on just about everything, that is illicit out there.
Right.
So when she hits on it, you know it's it's going to be a good hit. Now, if she just gets excited, then maybe it was there and now it's after it's already offloaded
Right.
its supply. But, heroin's always been, going back, I've been here 32 years, and going back, I can tell you over the years, probably half a dozen to a dozen people that have died of heroin overdoses. The problem with heroin, it is such a potent drug that, and it's not federally regulated, so they don't know how much they're getting.
Right.
This right here is a film canister, and you notice that's heroin. That's quite
Wow.
a bit, very
That's,
very valuable.
is that real heroin?
That is real heroin.
Good Lord, Mike.
If
That's
that's
crazy.
100% heroin, you're talking in the
What are those, like rocks? Little rocks or
20,000
something? Or are they
it's,
like
it's
little?
a powder. It's a powder.
So it's like in a cotton ball or something
Yes.
like that?
Yes.
Wow, that is
Very
insane.
expensive. They have to take that out and they have to dilute it.
Wow.
And put it in, heat it up. to
Okay,
get
I
it
don't
to
even want
mix.
to. I don't even want to mess with it.
Yeah,
That's
no.
Just
That's
looking
why
at
you
it.
have the gloves on.
Just looking at
because
it
will
scares me.
absorb through your fingers.
Just looking at it scares me. That's
and
that's crazy.
but that will that's quite a bit.
I
of
thought
heroin.
heroin was
Yeah.
black. Is it
Well, that's called black tar.
black
heroin.
tar? Okay, so that's something different.
Yes. Well,
So
no,
that's-
it's heroin. It's just
okay.
how they process it. And this is your black tar.
Okay,
heroin.
now I'm concerned. That looks like That looks like the creepy stuff on Fringe
Yes.
last week that killed somebody.
Okay.
That's scary
Um,
looking.
Yeah, that's your black tar, and that's quite a bit of
Okay.
heroin there too.
Hey, Wendy, do we have any security around the building right now? We don't need
I
anybody.
haven't.
Okay, good. Never mind.
He's got the security.
I don't need anybody showing up here, knocking down the door at Kit TV.
That's right.
That is crazy. So it's
that
processed
That looks like
differently.
Kieran had some of that too. He's got that black tar.
Black
action.
tar. Yeah, I don't even want to go there. That's disgusting.
That's the creosote off the railroad.
Oh, that's what that is. So
Okay.
those are both two different types of heroin processed differently.
Correct.
Is the white stuff like Coke? Is it like a powder, like a super?
How do you use it? No, I mean that's the.
I
I
don't.
don't.
Wanna, I don't even want
This
to know
is
that
your
stuff.
cocaine.
Oh, great! Now we have Coke here.
You
This
notice
is the first and only time there'll be Coke on Kid TV. I guarantee it.
Now there's what you're thinking it looks like. See the little crack rocks?
Okay.
Little
I don't know. Can you
cocaine
get a
rocks?
shot of that? That's the
Those are capsules.
they're
that
little capsules, like little almost like medicine.
Tylenol. Yeah,
And
you
each
can buy
one-
those by the gross or
The empty capsules.
the empty capsules.
And then looks like there's a little bit of something in each one that looks like a little white powder. And it says crack on the
Yes.
bag.
Crack.
That's
number 6.
crazy.
It's crack number 6, Greg.
So that's cocaine that's somehow been transformed into something little little hard
it's
rocks.
a cheaper version of,
Oh,
of
okay.
pure cocaine.
Mhm.
Now
Very easy to make and very easy, as you can see, very easy to sell.
Right.
And it's smoked in a crack pipe.
Mhm.
This is a heroin pipe, but
Okay.
very similar to a crack pipe. Crack pipe is a glass bowl. I
Mhm.
don't see it right now, but it has it's glass
Mhm.
and
looks like you
they
have
put it
numbers
in there
on
and they
here.
heat the glass.
That's I guess you count the rocks of.
This comes
Cocaine?
it's controlled. You know, it just
Okay.
a police officer. There are controls on it to be able to track
Mhm.
this. When
Mhm.
Officer Atkins gets enough to test Gita, because he has to use the real stuff to train her every day.
He has to come and get
He
some.
goes down to the crime lab and they measure
Mhm.
out a certain amount, give it to him, and he has to keep track of that. And we have a
Wow.
sergeant that then keeps track of him every year and make sure that some of it isn't disappearing.
That's 1.12
Wow.
grams. Looks like of crack.
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay.
Now, do you? I mean, what happens after the individual, the perpetrator, has been prosecuted and has received his sentence? What happens to this? Now, I mean, obviously you hold some back for Gita to train with, but I mean, I
We
imagine
get
it
from
comes in
crime
all the
lab,
time.
We get the stuff from Gita. We don't
Mhm.
use
Okay.
our own what we've confiscated
Mhm.
for Gita.
Okay.
We get it from the crime lab, so it's been tested.
Okay.
And the crime lab can come into court and say, yes, Gita is
Mhm.
trained and certified on real heroin or real crack cocaine.
Mhm.
Okay.
What we collect that the court doesn't keep, if it was used to testify in court, then the court has to dispose of it.
Mm.
If the guy pleads guilty, or girl, whatever it is, if the person pleads guilty, then we just keep it there beyond, I believe it's 2 years beyond their final sentence.
Sentencing, right?
That way, if they file any appeals and get a new retrial or anything,
Right.
we have it to go through a new trial.
Right.
But then
Right.
after that, when their appeals are up, and or any appeals are strictly based on the court
Right.
procedures and not on the evidence presented, then we can destroy it.
Okay.
And we have a huge section in the police department. Each officer has his own bin where his case is where he's collected all evidence. And then when the evidence is over and finished, it goes into a bin to be destroyed. And then we have Sergeant Friend, who's in charge of the evidence, and one other officer. They take a court order, they write up everything that's to be destroyed, itemize everything, give it to the judge. The judge reviews it with our list of everything that's in inventory, and the judge says, okay, you can destroy this, and then I won't say how we destroy it.
Yeah.
It gets
It's
destroyed.
done
It's
and
very
good.
supervised.
That's
yes.
good. That's good.
Yeah. But heroin, there's always, Tip City, people think nothing ever happens in Tip. That's just not true. What happens in Tip is what happens to people everywhere in the country. We just don't have as many people as Dayton does or Springfield that have a tendency to do these sort of things. All right? The clientele of Tip City is, and that's why I've been able to do this for 35 years, 32 here at Tip, because I'm not dealing with people that do this every day,
Right.
day in, day out. All my calls are dealing with drug-related or thefts or burglaries to support drug habits. I see very little compared to my normal job.
Right.
The routine of my police work is dealing with very nice people here in Tip City.
That's good.
So
That's
good.
when you say
It's a
an
nice town.
explosion in Tip City, there's a combination of, we've got Gita now, we have people coming to Dayton. Dayton is a major source for even people from Detroit, and 75 is the way they go. State Patrol has a trooper that I-70 is the east-west corridor for drugs. And that trooper is fantastic. He can sit there and look at a car as it's going by you and tell you, we need to stop that one because that one's going to have drugs in it or whatever. He's that good.
Now they get pretty creative. I've seen some of those busts on TV on I-70s, particularly where they pack it into like the door panels and inside the tires.
Yes.
But the
Can-
but
now
the dogs
can-
are going to find all
Can
that.
Gita
That-
smell through a
Yes.
tire?
There was an article in the paper in one of my stories
Yeah.
about Gita hitting on the B pillar post.
Yeah.
There's your pillar post. The A is the one that's up by the front driver,
The
and
driver.
the passenger. The B is the one that separates the back seat from the front seat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Gita hit on that B pillar post, and Gita hit on the gas tank. Well, when we got to looking at that B pillar post, there were no screws in the plastic molding that goes over the post. So we pulled that post off. There was bags, plastic bags, bigger than this, probably your, not gallon size, but quart size
And that's
plastic bags full of little individual bags that they sell it in individual. And that's when you charge them with trafficking,
Right.
because they're intending to
They're
sell
ready
those
to
little
sell.
bags.
They're
Right.
not. They're not
She hit on
transporting
that.
big amounts. They're transporting amounts in
yeah.
small containers.
They'll
resale.
take $10,000 or $5,000 and they'll go someplace and they'll buy it, and then they'll come back and they'll sell it and double their money. So to them, where they have no job and that's tax free, that's quite a bit of money for them. But on the gas tank, we were looking at the gas tank, and as it turned out, the gas tank was upside down.
Well, that can't be right.
No. So we got to looking at it, and underneath the gas tank, there was a little welded on cabinet, and
Wow.
So much effort
the
and
drugs were
time.
inside that.
So much time and expense
Sure.
spent on trying to hide
And
this
that
stuff.
was the
It's
same
crazy.
one that had the gun in the diaper bag.
Yeah.